fucking going. Let's just continue with this fucking CB shit. That's the driver. This is a creepypasta success story. And it's called, I'm talking with the best right now. So I'm gonna excited. The house job. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard the title, I actually thought house job, nose job, or a hand job. Sounds bad. But seriously though, I just thought, I don't know why. Just because I watch way too much PewDiePie and he's talking a lot about hand jobs these days. If you see the forest, the power of the hand. So dumb. Alright, yeah, whatever. It's called the house job. Yeah, whatever. It's called. Okay. What was it called again? Oh yeah, the hand job. I swear to God, that was a fail. I mean, horse job. No, not the horse job. I mean, the house job. Okay, let's just start. Holy shit, I got a little rating. I'll first tell you what I do for a living, as it will bring some understanding to my situation. I run my own business, if you can call it that. My voice. I thought of it more as a personal service. I break into the home or building of a client's choice, destroy and steal whatever they want, provide proof of the action, and then I get paid. Quite substantially, if I may add. My clients usually take the form of a middle class man angry at their boss or a recently dumped individual who wants revenge on their ex. Classic. Essentially, I do the work um, that one has the anger and desire to do, but doesn't have the actual nerve to do it themselves. It paid well, and it gave me some interesting places to explore, so I've been quite content with the job. About a few weeks ago, I received a usual call for what I expected to be a usual job. They call too fast. They called and requested me to break into an abandoned home, not so far from our area. He requested me to retrieve a few recordings of sorts. VHS tapes, cassettes, DVDs. They didn't matter. All he really cared about was anything that looked interesting, as he described. Okay? Despite the fact that information is important in my work. Shut your fucking mouth. Okay. Sorry, there was something else. He didn't tell me anything that would be useful for the search. He wouldn't even tell me anything about himself, which almost made me turn the job down until he offered me an unusual large payment. What about the money, perhaps? Right. When the caller had mentioned abandoned home, I had expected the location to be shit away, not shit away, I mean shed away from the local population and generally safe to break into during the day. To shut up, license agreement, fuck. Back off. Yes, I would like to. To my frustrated surprise, place was in the middle of the damn street, right along of the string of other apartments and surrounding buildings, most of which were populated. People, P, thank you, computer. Just where the hell did I come to? Oh yeah, right. Wait. Right along a string of other apartments and surrounding buildings, most of which were populated. People on the sidewalk strolled past it, not acknowledged it. It's the dialect state, sometimes being taken back by its dialect state. What? Mentions fucking shit's fucking okay, whatever. I came back after dark, and it was just how I wanted it to be. Nope. Goddamn, it's so annoying. Seriously. No pedestrian. What pedestrian anywhere. And there were no lights at the surrounding structures. I appeared to way too subtle. It appeared to be an easy target. The whole, excuse me, the home stood 2 stories with a small attic at the what is it saying? The small attic at the highest point. It didn't look like the most enjoyable place to live, even before it was age. But the best word I can think of to describe this living quality probably be would probably be confined. It appeared to have only a single window, which was on the attic level. The front door, what I believed to be the only entrance, was an unnecessary amount of logs on it, all of which were now rusted away. I opened it with a mere tap from my foot. I should probably state here that though I don't have nyctophobia or anything of that sort, I enjoy completely dark, abandoned buildings as much as the next wandering man. By my first step into the house, I wanted the job done fast. What I'm saying is, I was not paying attention to the specific details at the time, or of both the home and what may have been there. When I had turned on my flashlight, the first room appeared internally vacant. I really appreciate myself as fucking slapping the door or whatever it's called. Totally vacant of something, as if it had been completely cleared after the departure of its residents. It was both good and bad in my situation. This meant that the room was free of obstacles, but also meant that I will need to search more of the home, which I wasn't excited for. I feel like excited for, but I'm just gonna think it says means for. There were other homes around, but I wouldn't be fine if I at least kept the noise to a decent level. The place hardly had windows, after all. I had gone up the stair. What? I had gone up the stairs to find a similar area, an empty room with nothing that I was looking for. This meant further worse news. I have. I would have to check the attic. Though I said I wasn't necessarily frightened by the dark, I would be lying if I said I didn't have a discomfort with tight spaces. The attic was accused, was accused by a standard pull-down stairway on the ceiling of the second story room. It took a couple of jerks to budge, but it came down and without much resistance. Resi- what? Residence? I mean, resistance. A large cloud of dust covered my view for a few seconds, which made me realize how old the place really was. Each step of the stairway creates tremendous, can't, tremendous, tremendous. Can't say that word. I know how to pronounce it, but I can't say it. Tremendously or some shit. The word became more irritating than unnerving. I know that feeling. The last step brought me inside the attic, which showed the only window in the house. A bit of moonlight shot down into the small room, which helped ease my tension by a near insif- insignificant what amount. Scanning the room, I had finally caught eye of a few boxes in the corner. Fuck, this one is long. 3H cardboard boxes, all packed with number of old VHS tapes, no DVDs, though the place was so old that I didn't expect to find any. I was still in a rush to get out of there, so I didn't take much time looking through them. I didn't even pick out a few. I just grabbed the heaviest box and dragged it to the ladder. I didn't really exactly what I didn't realize exactly how much was in the box until I dropped it to the floor, in which it made a rather loud crash that's that seemed impossible for its size. Some of the takes were probably broken in the progress, but I didn't stop to check. I just wanted to be out of here, be out of there. When I reached the bottom of the ladder, I didn't bother putting it back up. This is where I first saw something strange. Um, when I, when picking up the box back up, I saw a small red light in the corner of the room, like a sort of dot. I don't know why I did that. It wasn't moving, but I still saw him through the stairs. I grew paranoid, so I didn't care to investigate what it was. I ran at the top of the stairs and I observed something else. The house had another level, which is assumed to be a basement. There was another stairway leading downwards that could only be seen if one was exactly looking down the stairs at the second level. At the bottom of the stairway was another faint but noticeable red dot. I was carrying the heavy box of tape, so I didn't have a hand to shine my flashlight on it or on the previous one. Then I tripped. There's no other way of saying it. I tripped and tumbled down the entire fucking stairway, all the way down, back down to the first floor. I should have broken a leg or a back in the progress, but the box of tapes actually managed to break my fall. Some sort of miraculous way. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. VHS tapes scattered all across the bottom of the stairs, and I didn't want to take the time to retrieve them all. I picked up three three tapes that were closest to me. My body hurt like hell, but I was more focused on the fact that I had just made noise similar to a damned police raid. Yeah, I made it back to my car and then my home without issue. I woke up the next morning with eggs all over. I did. What the fuck? Okay, no, but what? Okay, but I hadn't gotten caught, which which was what I cared about. Okay, I called my client numerous times, and just as I had almost predicted, he never answered. The number he gave me didn't have any answering machine, as if it had been disconnected. I was quite sure that the client was being going to be a no-show, which made me grow right frustrated. Most of the time, I'm able to steal all the items during a raid, so a client not giving payment was never a typical issue. However, there was hardly anything to even look at, let alone steal, in the abandoned home, so I was left empty-handed after all the frightful work I had gone through. All I was left with was the tapes, which I decided to look at just in case the client actually called back asking what I obtained. I was surprised to find that I even still had the VHS player in my closet because the tapes had no forms of levels on them. I just played the first one on the stack of three. The first time I played was just static for a few minutes. I was about to stop it when I actually did cut to a picture. There was a date on the lower left corner of the screen, which was August the 2nd, 2010, displayed as H/2/10. It was footage of a small room which was vacant, mentioned to any furniture, and looked like a degrading condition. The, the video appeared to be in the form of night vision, so the room must have been dark. Fucking around with the thing. Alright, anyway. It was live. It was lifeless footage until a door closed the camera. Shut up. Until the what? Fuck. Until a door closed the camera opened. Sorry. The shit. Okay. A young woman. Give me a second. Alright. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. Just need to turn out the light. It's kind of dark right now. His mom was 9 at the evening. Right. A young woman walked through, and the door shut behind her as she walked in. She started yelling. I don't know what she yelled right now. Michael, Michael, it's me. It's time to make Ross Brady boy. Where are you? Nailed it. She turned around in circles, searching for someone. There was okay, whatever. There was a frantic, worried look of expression on her face. I would assure this Michael would be her son or other close person she was looking for. She waved her she waved her hands around in the dark before taking her phone out as a source of light. She walked to the end of the room and took a left at what appeared to be a stairway. The footage went to static a few seconds later. Now I had an idea of where the footage may have been taken, but I refused to believe it at the moment of watching the tape. I didn't want to watch another just for that reason. Though, for my own safety, I had to know if my paranoia was correct. The next tape started similar to the last. Static for a few minutes, then it cuts to the footage. It uh, it was a footage of another empty room, which appeared to be in the same decaying state as the last. The footage also had a date and time, but it was March the 14th, 2014, more than a year's difference. So, no fucking shit, man. Alright, whatever. Someone came in from the small hallway leading into the room. This time it was an older man. He actually had a flashlight this time and looked to the roof. He pulled down a staircase that led to an attic. This was when I flipped shit. These red lights, these dots in the corners of the room, they were cameras, and they were rolling. The abandoned house was rigged with them, more than I probably even saw. I at first believed it must have been some sort of police setup, and which I immediately checked all of my windows to see if my home was surrounded. I thankfully found nothing. It wouldn't be been so good. Went back to the tape and the recording showed the man climbing up the ladder into this attic. It took he too looked as he was looking for something or someone, but he never actually spoke. He also never shined his flashlight around the room, so I doubt he even noticed the camera. A few seconds after he was in the attic, the footage ended, but I did notice something. Just moments before the footage ended, the camera moved as if it was picked up just the last few seconds. Went immediately to the third and final tape, and so wanted to know what else may have been looking at me in that house. What? Okay, the tape was viewing the stairway. It appears zoomed in like it was down another level, but still focusing on the first to second floor. At the top of the stairs, there was the same man from the previous tape, but the same theme. I mean, same date, 3/14/13. Since I had dropped the tapes down the stairs when I collected them, I must have been lucky to get two continuing tapes. The man in the footage appeared injured this time. He clutched his left leg, which revealed to have blood, blood running from it. When I looked closely enough, he stumbled with each step as he progressed down the first floor. When he just When he was just about at the bottom step, he fell, probably out of exhaustion. At the top of the staircase stood Sapang. Looked like a person, about 6 feet tall, but I'm not okay. But I'm not going to make any substitution- assumptions that it was humans. What the fuck is that? Okay, I walked down. What? It walked down to the man and began to rag him by his uninjured leg. The man put up a little struggle, which led him to being kicked in the head by the being. That's great. Moved the man down the second staircase, the one I believe led to the floor of basement. The figure was close enough into the camera to where I could see its face, or at least what was covering it. It wore a mask which looked like an H rag with holes cut for each eye and numerous tears every, everywhere else. The skin exposed by the tears was a dark, bloody grey, which led to me being more content that his face was covered. The thing stared at the camera for a moment with blurred yellow eyes that made myself even more uncomfortable. I then picked up the camera and turned it around to reveal a door at the bottom of the staircase. Being picked up, the man opened the door and kicked the man inside another room, which appeared to be empty. The door was quickly shut once the man went in, and then the camera just viewed the door for the next few minutes. Uh-huh. What was disturbing, however, was the noises. Sounds, I mean. It's pretty much the same. Whatever. Behind the door, there was many rapid scratching noises, as if the walls were being scraped. The injured man inside the room began to scream, and so did other voices. The other screams sounded inhuman, more animal-like than screams of a person. The injured man's screams were quickly cut off after what sounded like a ripping of flesh and the snapping of ligaments. I thought at first that the man stopped screaming, but then I realized that all sound had been cut off from the footage. Door to the room then opened, and inside the room were other creatures that had almost appeared human, but appeared very frail and gray, with no hairs and on their heads and anywhere on their body. Uh, the spines were painfully visible and protruded from their bodies in a no image repair. I don't want you. In an unnatural and excessive manner, the ones near the end of the room began to climb up the walls and onto the ceiling. One of them began to turn around, but the furniture ended and got this side before its face could be revealed. Naturally, I was terrified by this. I had just been inside that place, and it had been recorded in the same way. I have been recorded in the same way. Oh, shut up. Uh, I checked all my windows again and locked them. Stayed indoors for a few days, keeping constant watch of if I was well being watched. I burned the tapes, and when I was sure that I hadn't left any sort of trial from my visit to the house, I had begun to go out again. I occasionally took another job, but none that involved abandoned homes or structure. Not too much more than 2 weeks ago, I received a package on my front door. I assumed this to be a payment from the recent client. I suppose will pay me for simply dropping off their part. I opened it and found three VHS tapes, which appeared to be in new condition. They were each marked with a number going from 1 to 3. Played the tape, marked with 1 first. Was a footage of the same abandoned house as before. There was a camera in the first empty room. Need to stretch a little bit. A few. Oh, my back, man, it hurts. Sorry. A few minutes later, it's bullshit. A few minutes passed, and then somebody entered. It was a younger man, who wore dark clothing, as he wanted to, if he wanted to keep hidden. It took only a second to realize that this man was me, and that the tapes were off when I entered the room. Home. Went straight to the tape number 2. The second tape was recorded up a staircase with the camera planted near the door to the basement. It showed me stumbling out of the hallway to the stairs with a box of tapes in both hands. I took a few steps down when I watched myself trip and fall. Expect I didn't actually trip. I was pushed. Uh-huh. I figured up top of the stairs wearing the same rag on his head. The three previous tapes had slightly shoved me. It wasn't enough force to where I could have felt him behind me, but enough to where I had lost my balance with the box in my hands. The footage showed me jump back to my feet with 3 tapes in hand and running off screen, which was when I ran out of the house. Magic being only ran to the bottom of the staircase and watched me run. Then walked slowly down the second flight of stairs and looked into the camera for a few seconds, and then the footage ended. I was in more fear than I when I was when I had watched the previous tapes. My paranoia of being followed became more severe. It took every fiber of courage in my body to keep walking, and I played the final third tape. Sorry, I'm getting really tired right now. And this tape wasn't from inside the abandoned house. It was being held. Shut up. It was It was being held by someone, and it was taken from outside a different location. The camera holder walked on the road for a few minutes until focusing the camera on a single house. The house was my house, and whoever slash whatever was filming let out a loud, sickening laugh. Then the tape ended. Creepy, lol. I've grown paranoid, and with a good reason. I'm not huddled in the center of a room all day, but I didn't go. Shut up. But I didn't go out in public much anymore. Anytime I do, I feel like I'm see a massive figure out of the corner of my eye. Perhaps it's what the hell is that? Oh, okay, it's just a triangle, man. Okay, perhaps it's just a representation in of my mind. But even since it's right next to me in some places, there will be a few days where he'll knock my door only to find a single tape on the doorstep. Each of it's very similar to the last. It's always footage to my own home, usually during the day, but other times at night. And with each tape, the camera is closer. Finally, I'm done. Goddamn, I'm tired. What I was saying before is a weird ant with a triangle man. It looked like an ant, a yellow ant with a cheese on his head. Apparently, it's something. I don't fucking know what it is. Oh, thank God. I was afraid they stopped recording. Holy fucking shit, I've used a lot of time on that one. Almost a half an hour. God damn. Alright, I gotta end it here. I'm fucking tired.